Merry Christmas to one and all. Today is the 28th of December. For those of you that remember, my car failed on the 8th of December. It came up with a Tesla call service warning message and another message that related to the 12-volt battery. When they originally rang me up and did some initial diagnosis, they actually thought it was the wiring loom that was the issue, and they'd actually found a similar car with some sort of problem early in the year. After diagnosis and speaking to the support in California and Europe as well, they actually decided it was the E-fuse that was the problem, which they replaced and checked the wiring. So when the actual work was complete, I got a Tesla service repair order. If I actually read it, it says, the concern, the customer states his vehicle parked at his office and does not start and is unresponsive. It then goes on to list the corrections, which is replaced faulty E-fuse with latest revision parts, updated vehicle firmware and confirm correct operation. It then goes on to state further that corrections, 12-volt battery and fuses, general diagnostics, checked into the vehicle recording logs and fault data and found that the vehicle failed to power on due to the electronic fuse module failing to wake and power the vehicle. Checked connections at module and no faults found, new module required. So that was fitted and that's a repair, and thankfully it has zero cost. For the UK, I think it says on there £150 per hour, which would have come to a considerable sum if they'd have actually replaced it, and I would have had to pay for it. So the car was fine. It was quite interesting the few hours before I actually got my car back, from the point that I have my app, Tesla app on my phone, linked to the car, and it was in effect sending me alerts to saying the software update was available and then software update failed. This happened a couple times in the morning before I got my car back, and I think they were installing version 2017 50.1. After talking to the support manager, he said again they consulted the support in Europe and resolved the problem. So my car came back with the correct software version on at that time, which is the 50.1. He then gave me the news that the car was actually on its way back. So Nostromo, which is the name I've given to my car, which is, for those of you who watch Aliens films, it's one of the spaceships from Aliens. It came back to me on Friday the 22nd of December. So in effect, they had the car for 2 full weeks. So far so good. The car's been perfect, and it's absolutely fantastic to have it back. You know, I can drive it as I would have liked and before it failed, but it's brilliant to have the car back and I can actually use it on a day-to-day basis. I would have done a video a little bit sooner, but however over the Christmas it's been like living on a plague ship. Myself, my wife, and quite a few of my relatives who came over Christmas Day for the meal, they've all been ill with a dreaded lurgy that a lot of people in the UK seem to be having, head colds, stomach colds, absolutely awful lurgy at this moment in time. So thankfully most of us seem to be over it at this moment in time, so it's brilliant. I received one message on the last video, thankfully, for one of the people who viewed the video, asking me to do a video on the comparisons of the acceleration for the loaner vehicle that I had, which is a P100D, and to compare the acceleration between the P100D and my S75. The thing that caught me was that I would have liked to have done a video, but they actually dropped the car off quicker than I anticipated. So with the weather being right where I live now, it's been raining, it's been hailstorm, we've had snow, we've had all sorts of weather, so it's never been the right time to actually get the car out and do a comparison. And unfortunately now it's gone back, because I really did want for a dry day so I could actually test the car out a little bit better, but unfortunately it's gone back. Feedback I will give on the P100D is the ludicrous mode. It is ludicrous. In my opinion, there's no real need to have a car that fast acceleration. It's absolutely bonkers. It is really, the name suits it, it's ludicrous. There are lots of YouTube videos out there on the P100D racing, all sorts of other cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc, etc. So if you want to see about the ludicrous modes, go and watch those. What I will say though is some of the lower down modes was quite interesting. If you look at the sport mode on the P100D, I think that felt very much like the normal mode on my S75 in terms of acceleration. Mine's quite quick, I think it's 4.3 seconds to 60, and I think the P100D in sport mode felt similar, possibly a little bit quicker, but very, very similar. The thing that did actually stand out though, which might just be a personal thing that I felt, was that when the P100D was in chill mode and my S75 is in chill mode, in effect you should get the same effect. What I did find is the P100D in chill mode seemed to pull away a little bit slower than my S75 when it's in chill mode. So that might be a subtle difference, or it might just be me feeling, but that's what it did actually feel like. I think it might be due to the battery, because obviously the P100D has a 100 kilowatt hour battery. I've actually checked mine since, and my battery is definitely a 75 on my car. And I was actually thinking it might have been 100 in my car that was software limited to 75, but no, it's definitely a 75. So I would anticipate between the P100D and my 75 there is a weight difference in terms of battery. So that may be what I felt when I was accelerating in chill mode, the extra battery modules in the 100 as opposed to the 75, just making it be a little bit more sluggish going away. So I think there's a weight difference there. Would I go for a 100 kilowatt hour battery and would I go for a P100D? Well, yes, I would like to go for a 100 kilowatt hour battery, but it comes at a significant cost difference. Would I go for a P100D? I think if I had endless pots of money, the P100D, yeah, why wouldn't I go for one? Because, you know, if I had endless pots of gold. I think realistically, having the car now for a little bit of time, my 75, I would have liked a 75D for the extra all-wheel drive being a little bit advantageous. Certainly with the snow going around at this moment in time, I've never really had to swap tyres to winter tyres with any car I've ever had, and I don't really want to start going down that route, but we shall see what time brings. And I think if I'd have had the 75D, that would have given me the all-wheel drive, and I think what I would have done is offset that with the cost of the autopilot. Yes, I've used it, but I think it would have been better to perhaps get the 75D all-wheel drive, which would have worked out a similar sort of cost, and then to turn on the autopilot at a later date. At least I would have had the hardware in the car for all-wheel drive. Now in effect I've just got rear-wheel drive, and I can't in effect get it to all-wheel drive. Fantastic car, I love it to bits, but I think that's one subtle difference I would have possibly done. So in summary, it's fantastic. It is really fantastic to have the car back. I've driven it about, I've done a supercharge yesterday. It's brilliant to have it on my drive. I'm going to do a cleaning up of the car at some point using the snow foam. I bought some snow foam and an adapter for my pressure washer. Tesla service, they've been absolutely brilliant all the way through in terms of speed of response when I first called them, to actually having the flatbed here to take my my broken vehicle away. Yes, they had it for 2 weeks, but they've actually resolved the issue, and I think they've resolved it well. We had the minor issue at the start with communication. Since then they've been absolutely on the ball. They've been ringing me frequently, even twice a day, saying where the status of the car is. Yeah, so I wouldn't have ideally liked to have the issue with the car, but at least now I know what Tesla service are like and how they do stuff. So certainly from the local service centre where I take my car in Stockport, which has been great. Since that though, I've actually looked on the Facebook user group for Tesla UK, and there seems to be a lot of vehicles with similar types of issues with coming a lot of the service centre messages, and the vehicles do seem quite new. So that might just have been the norm, or is there a difference in terms of there are a lot more cars having issues, newer cars having issues? Is there perhaps a quality issue going on where they're not forsaking, but they're trying to get things out the door to hit the sales deadlines without, you know, making sure the cars are 100%, or are there some parts that have come in that haven't been quality controlled yet when they've received some suppliers? I don't know, but there does seem to be quite a few cars when you look on the Facebook forum that have had issues. Going to be interesting watching that over the next few weeks and months, and I'd be interested to see what your feedback is on this. Do you feel it's normal sort of quantity, or do you feel it's sort of abnormal at this moment in time? Give me your thoughts. So again, hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, use my referral code to get yourself free supercharging for life when you get a car. And look out for the next video. I aim to do one probably on my home charging solution and the referrals program. So again, hope you've had a good Christmas so far, and hope you have a fantastic New Year, and I shall see you on the next video.